creature that belongs to freshwater swamps is moving deeper into the world of ocean predators. Croc versus shark. In the waters of the Caribbean, small sea creatures are being surrounded by two layers of predators at once. Even the giants, like the humpback whale, must stay alert. Now we come to the most dangerous battleground, the Atlantic Ocean. The journey begins in the Caribbean Sea at an isolated island, where the humpback whale once wintered. Before continuing a migration thousands of kilometers long. And it ends at a brackish swamp in Florida. There, a mystery will surface beneath the murky water. This is the story of predators, forced to adapt again and again, just to hold their place for one more season. Trinidad accounts for more than 80% of all nesting leatherback turtles. Across the entire Caribbean, second only to a single beach in West Africa. Ascension Island is home to the largest seabird colony left in the Atlantic. That population once lost most of its numbers in just half a century before recovering on its own. And in the Everglades, where the journey ends, scientists for the first time see the underwater world through the eyes of a crocodile. Trinidad, the Caribbean Sea. The tide falls to its lowest point of the day. The mangrove mud is exposed, revealing a hunting ground with nowhere to hide. The tangled roots that once offered shelter now become a prison maze. The small pools shrink by the minute, and any creature trapped inside has no way out. This is a trap, and it has just opened. The name of this fish comes from a visual mechanism rarely seen in nature. Each eye is split in two by a band of pigmented tissue, with an off-center lens flattened in the upper half and rounded in the lower half. Light from the air and light from the water refract differently. The result is that it sees both worlds at once, above the surface and below it. Scientists call this species the four-eyed fish, but a pair of eyes can only warn. It cannot swim freely, and in a pool that is slowly drying out, reaction speed matters more than sight. Beneath the thin layer of water, a spectacled Caiman patrols slowly, barely leaving a ripple. This is an ambush predator, conserving every calorie, able to lie still for hours waiting for prey to come close, rather than spend energy on the chase. The view from above gives them what the Caiman does not have: the ability to see the whole pool at once. One threat hidden beneath the water patient and almost invisible. Another threat watches from the air, fast and with a sweeping view. And in the middle, a creature with eyes built to detect both, but without legs quick enough to escape both at once. There is not always a way out for both sides at once. This is the first rule of the Atlantic Ocean. Even the most refined adaptation buys only one more chance, not a guarantee. This is only a small battle, contained within a few meters of mud. Farther out toward the open Atlantic, the size of the arena grows. But the rules of the game do not change. From April to July each year, leatherback turtle, the largest turtle still living on Earth, hauls itself onto the sands of Trinidad to lay its eggs. This is one of the two busiest nesting beaches for the species anywhere in the world, second only to a stretch of coast in West Africa. The sex of each hatchling is not decided by its genes, but by the temperature of the sand. Above 30 degrees C, most of the eggs hatch as females. Below that, most are males. An unusually hot season of sand can tilt an entire generation, and no hatchling has any say in the matter. The moment they hatch, the young find their way by the light reflected off the surface of the sea. On the short journey from nest to surf, most never reach the water. For those that survive to adulthood, another navigation system takes over. The ability to sense the Earth's magnetic field. That system is so precise that, decades later, a female can return to the very beach where she once hatched, across thousands of kilometers of ocean. The leatherback is not the only creature that makes this stretch of the Caribbean so remarkable. Just beneath the coastal waves lies one of the most diverse coral reefs on the planet. The Caribbean makes up only a small fraction of the world's total ocean area. Yet it is home to around 75 species of reef-building coral, along with more than 1,400 species of fish and marine mammals. In all, more than 12,000 different species of marine life have been recorded in this region. But that diversity is under serious threat. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, around 1 in 10 reef-building coral species in the Caribbean, including elkhorn and staghorn coral, faces the risk of extinction. A typical tropical coral reef can hold up to a third of all the marine species known on Earth. Yet, its area covers less than 1% of the world's ocean floor. This is why every square meter of reef that is lost carries a loss far greater than its true size. The main cause of this wave of decline is coral bleaching. When sea temperatures rise abnormally by even 1 or 2 degrees C, the coral expels the symbiotic algae living within its own tissue. Those algae provide most of the coral's nourishment and color. Without them, the coral turns white and can starve within a few weeks. Another shark also patrols this part of the Caribbean, in a way unlike any other. Scalloped hammerhead. Its flattened, widened head is not just for looking different. It holds thousands of electrical sensors spread across its surface. With them, it can sweep a far wider band of the seabed as it searches for prey hidden beneath the sand. From this nesting beach, the current carries the story further. not everything in the Caribbean stays in the Caribbean. Riding the same waters, a pod of common dolphin, which can number in the hundreds, is hunting together across the open ocean. They often travel with schools of flying fish. That gliding ability evolved as a direct response to the constant pressure of predation. A chase lasting millions of years has turned pectoral fins into a pair of wings. Silver Bank, the shallow waters north of the Dominican Republic, is where around 3,000 humpback whale gather each winter from December to April. They come here to mate and give birth in the warm water, safer for the young. A newly carved mother whale faces a harsh trade-off. The warm Caribbean water is safer from orca, but holds almost no food. The calf must grow quickly enough to withstand the migration ahead before its mother runs out of her energy reserves. Throughout that journey, orca remain the greatest threat to the young calves in the pod. This is the true bridge that connects the Caribbean to the rest of the Atlantic Ocean. Not a border drawn on a map, but a living migration route repeated every year. It stretches from the warm waters where life begins to the cold waters where life is nourished, with danger waiting at both ends. The Gulf Stream carries warm water, along with nutrients and tropical life, running up the eastern coast of the United States and then crossing the whole Atlantic Ocean as far as Europe. Where the warm water meets colder water, eddies form, drawing nutrients up from the depths to the surface. That is why some stretches of sea along this current are among the richest in life in the Atlantic Ocean, even far from any reef or tropical shore. The Sargasso Sea is the only sea on the planet bounded by no coastline at all. Its edges are defined only by the four currents that surround it, spreading across more than 5 million square kilometers of water. The foundation of an entire ecosystem here is sargassum, a seaweed that drifts freely for its whole life, never needing to anchor to the seabed or any rocky shore. For sea turtles, this mat of seaweed matters more than anyone once imagined. But the greatest mystery of this sea belongs to a species that almost never lives here year-round: the freshwater eel of Europe and North America. This is the only known breeding ground for both of those endangered eel species. After years of maturing in rivers thousands of kilometers away, they turn back to this sea to spawn, and then end their lives. A journey that can last up to 25 years, only to end in the place where it began. Drifting among the seaweed mats is a creature often mistaken for a single jellyfish, the Portuguese man o' war. In truth, it is a colony of many specialized individuals, living in close partnership. Each individual takes on its own function, from floating to catching prey to digestion. Its tentacles carry venom strong enough to cause intense pain in a human. Even the most passive drifter of the open ocean can be a dangerous predator. Follow that current onward, more than 1,600 kilometers to the south. In the open sea, with no other land in sight, a small volcanic island rises, Ascension Island. Seabirds are not the only residents that turn this isolated island into a gathering point for life. Ascension Island is also the second largest nesting site for the green turtle, in the entire Atlantic Ocean. Each breeding season, the island records between 7,500 and 30,000 nests, each nest holding on average more than 120 eggs. To reach here, each female must swim more than 2,400 kilometers from the waters of Brazil, returning to the very island where she once hatched, once every 3 to 4 years. But the cost of that journey is high. Only about 1% of the hatchlings survive to adulthood. Those fortunate enough to cross that threshold can live up to 80 years. The island is home to the largest remaining population of the sooty tern in the Atlantic Ocean. This bird has an almost unimaginable ability. After leaving the nest, they can stay in the air for years on end, landing only on the water to feed, and never touching down on land until they return to nest. But that population was once far larger. In the 1940s, this island was home to more than 2 million seabirds. The cause was feral cats brought to the island by people, along with the harvesting of birds' eggs in the past. From 1990 to 2013, after the feral cats were removed from the island, the seabird population steadied once again. Even on this rare, safe island, competition never disappears. It only changes form. The frigate bird cannot dive to catch its own fish, a form of organized theft playing out every day in the skies above the most peaceful island in the South Atlantic. Everything mentioned so far belongs to the surface layer of the Atlantic. But most of the life in this ocean lies nowhere near the surface. From 200 to 1,000 meters down, there is a layer of water known as the twilight zone, where sunlight fades to a dim trace before vanishing entirely. This layer makes up only about 20% of the global ocean's volume, yet it holds up to 90% of the total fish biomass. In the entire world, roughly 10 billion tons. A food web almost invisible from the surface, feeding directly the far more familiar surface predators, among them the tuna. One of the strangest residents of this layer is the anglerfish. In some species, the male is many times smaller and permanently fuses his living tissue with the female solely to sustain the ability to reproduce. Each night, billions of creatures from this deep layer swim up near the surface to feed, then descend again before dawn. Scientists regard this as the largest migration of any animal on the planet, repeating steadily every 24 hours. In the process, they carry carbon from the surface down to the deep, helping to lock away 2 to 6 billion tons of carbon each year. In waters deeper still, the sperm whale can dive to more than 2,000 meters, holding its breath for nearly 2 hours at a time, just to hunt the giant squid. Most adult sperm whales carry circular scars on their skin, marks left by the suckers of the very giant squid they once wrestled. It is evidence of a battle fought entirely in the dark. Even coral reefs do not exist only in sunlit tropical waters. They live by filtering the very nutrient particles drifting down from the layers above, including the remains of creatures that migrated through the night. Back near the surface, another migration, far easier to observe, is taking place just off Ascension. Each year, right around Easter, another migration unfolds off Ascension. Their gills are more than 30 times larger than those of most fish of similar size, to take in enough oxygen for extremely fast swimming. Their hearts are up to 10 times larger, and their blood is kept warmer thanks to a countercurrent heat exchange system lying just beneath the muscle. This trait is found in only a very few fish, among them the great white shark. The yellowfin tuna operates like a machine, optimized for one thing alone: speed and the ability to sustain that speed across thousands of kilometers without rest. But even speed has its equal. In the waters around Ascension, there is also the wahoo, one of the fastest swimming fish in the ocean. It is also the fastest growing member of the entire mackerel and tuna family, reaching the ability to reproduce after only 12 months of age. A prey fast, strong, and early to mature. What predator has the power to bring down a warm-blooded creature of high speed, evolved solely to flee? The answer does not come from speed. It comes from numbers and a sensory organ far beyond human imagination. The Galapagos shark, a predator that wins through sheer numbers, and a sensory tool that is almost impossible to believe. Nearly 2/3 of the Galapagos shark's brain is devoted to smell. Its sense of smell surpasses a human's by 10,000 times. It can detect a single drop of blood diluted across an entire Olympic swimming pool. But that is only its first line of defense. At closer range, hundreds of tiny sensory organs surround its snout, known as the ampullae of Lorenzini. They can detect the faintest electrical pulses given off by the very heartbeat and muscle movements of prey. It senses prey even when that prey lies motionless and hidden completely from view. There is nowhere to hide from a body that still holds life. In the waters around Ascension, the Galapagos shark has also been recorded showing a rare, learned behavior. They learn to link the sound of fishing boat engines with the chance of leftover food and begin to gather whenever they hear that sound, even without ever seeing or smelling any prey. Nothing is left large enough to identify. But this is not what has drawn the sharks together in such numbers. The wahoo is only a warning, a light snack before a far larger hunt. The pack's true target is still swimming up ahead. But in these waters, everyone is hungry. After escaping the ring of Galapagos sharks, the tuna find their own lunch. A bait ball. The feeding happens so fast that if you miss it, no one would know what had just taken place. But one hunter is fast enough to keep up with it all. A mako shark, the fastest of the ocean's most fearsome predators. The feast ahead will fill its hungry stomach with prey weighing 400 kilograms. Through a process of convergent evolution, the tuna also has friction-reducing skin, muscle concentrated in the tail, and the ability to warm its blood, just like the mako. The high-speed predator has failed, but the story in the Atlantic is not over. Who do you think is truly the most formidable predator among these ocean giants? Leave your prediction before the answer is revealed. The Everglades is where fresh water from the land meets salt water from the Atlantic Ocean, creating an ecological corridor in which very few creatures can survive on both sides at once. The mangrove forest here is one of the ecosystems that store carbon most efficiently on the planet. Its soil and root systems hold many times more carbon than an equivalent area of tropical forest on land. The tangled root network of the mangroves is also a natural nursery for countless fish species, including the very bull sharks about to appear in this story. That maze of roots is the only place safe enough to grow up before they are strong enough to risk the open water. The West Indian manatee is one of the lifelong residents of the shallow coastal waters of Florida. A grown manatee can eat nearly 50 kilograms of seagrass a day. That constant grazing keeps the seagrass beds from growing too thick, maintaining the water flow the entire coastal ecosystem needs. The bite force of a grown American alligator has been measured at more than 2,000 psi. That figure is far stronger than the bite of a lion or an ocean great white shark of the same size. This is one of the strongest bite forces ever recorded in a living animal. But that number is only half the story. The other half lies in what it lacks: the ability to excrete salt through its body. Unlike a true saltwater crocodile, the American alligator has no efficient salt-excreting gland, but it can tolerate brackish water for a few days. But with prolonged exposure to salinity above 15 parts per thousand, its liver and kidneys begin to fail, and its blood sugar drops. That is what forces it to return to fresh water at regular intervals. Even as instinct and the chance to hunt keep pulling it farther out toward the sea, the American alligator moves back and forth regularly between freshwater and saltwater. But to hunt in water where almost nothing can be seen, both sight and smell are nearly useless. Along its jaws lie thousands of tiny pressure-sensing organs. It does not need to see its prey. It only needs to sense that it is there. The conflict between crocodile and shark in these waters is nothing new. Meanwhile, the young sharks are forced to keep moving just to keep water flowing over their gills, a survival weakness. Not a single warning. Many other seas of the world have shown the same rule. When an apex predator weakens, another species takes its place, not because it is stronger, but because a vacuum of power is never left empty for long. A throne left empty in nature always finds a successor. Only no one knows in advance who it will be. In the Atlantic, the crown does not belong to the strongest at any one moment. It belongs to whoever can still adapt. When the next tide falls, when the next estuary mouth opens, when the next migration season begins. Drifting plastic pollution seeps into every layer of the water, from the sargasso weed on the ocean's surface down to the deep trenches where sperm whales hunt squid. Not one body of water on the journey we have just traveled remains entirely apart from the touch of humankind. 3 encounters share one ending. There is no lasting victor, only those that adapt in time before the next tide draws back. Across these 3 encounters, which one surprised you the most? Leave a comment below and tell us who you think is the truly formidable predator. Across all 3 of these confrontations. Now let us return to the giants, but not beneath the water, rather on the mountains of Virunga. At more than 3,000 meters above sea level, the Virunga Mountains lie between Rwanda, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In this kingdom of mist, with its thin, freezing air, there is a king without a throne, yet with silver shoulders, a silver back strong enough to carry an entire lineage. Mountain gorillas share about 98% of their DNA with humans. Its digestive system is a machine, processing cellulose on a vast scale, turning simple leaves into rippling blocks of muscle. Their social structure revolves around an absolute hierarchy. A silverback is the father, the leader and the sole protector of his family. A wise silverback observes how often these sounds come and decides whether it is worth spending the energy on a physical confrontation. But when the language of sound is not enough, physical strength speaks. The gorilla uses its full body weight to dominate its ground and uses its jaws, with a bite stronger than a lion or a tiger, to leave a deep mark of its presence. Their most fearsome weapon is canine teeth up to 5 centimeters long. A powerful bite to the shoulder or neck can end the life of any rival in an instant. The mountain gorilla is an admirable example of the balance between immense strength and gentleness. They are gentle giants until the boundaries of mutual respect are crossed. But far from the cool summits, in the lower regions, there is a creature with a brilliant appearance, like a work of art, yet with a fiercely aggressive temper, a primate that even the leopard thinks twice before approaching. The mandrill is a creature that challenges the usual standards of evolutionary history. It bears a face brilliant with color, yet it is also the largest primate of its kind in the world, with one of the most unpredictable tempers in nature. The red and blue on the face of a male mandrill. The brighter it is, the more it displays a fierce vitality. In other words, its face is visible proof of the strength and resilience that life has granted. An adult male mandrill can weigh 35 kilograms or more, but its true strength lies in their large troops. True legions on the move. They can gather into enormous groups of up to 600 or even 1,000 individuals. No snake, small rodent, or other group of primates is brave enough to block their path. This is the march of a collective, organized with great discipline. Under the leadership of the king, with the most brilliant face. The savannah quietly recedes as darkness falls. The giants withdraw into the night, leaving the mark of an unbroken will to survive, etched in scars and fierce confrontations. Across the sunlit plains of the Serengeti, life is a heroic tale shaped by courage and sacrifice. Here, lions reign as the undisputed rulers of the vast savanna. The lion is the only cat to build a truly complex social structure. A pride of lions is a formidable fortress, built on the foundation of blood kinship and mutual protection. The male lion stands as an embodiment of absolute power and regal authority. He carries a thick, heavy mane, a biological shield designed to protect his throat. His role is to defend the borders of his kingdom. His roar can be heard from a distance of about 8 kilometers, a thunderous warning to any intruder that dares to challenge his bloodline. And yet, the soul and hunting heart of the pride lie with the lionesses. They are an elite force, bound by seamless coordination, to form the most effective hunting network. On the plains, they never act alone, communicating through subtle glances and silent movements among the dry grass. Their target is an African buffalo. But across these vast plains, survival also depends on another weapon: blistering speed. Watch this slender creature, hidden among the withered yellow grass. This is the cheetah, the fastest animal on our planet, a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. Its skeleton is a structure perfected for the pursuit of maximum speed. With a light frame and a flexible spine, like a steel spring, it is built to tear through space. In just 3 seconds, the cheetah can reach speeds beyond 100 kilometers per hour, an intense acceleration that outpaces even our most advanced supercars. The long, muscular tail acts as a biological rudder. It allows this cat to make sharp turns at high speed while maintaining perfect balance. The distinctive black tear marks help absorb the harsh glare of the African sun. This specialized adaptation helps focus its vision on targets more than 800 meters away. Now, a target appears. A lone impala has let down its guard. This is the moment the killer instinct awakens in a chilling dance of death. The cheetah lowers its center of gravity, gliding like a ghost through the thorn bushes. Every step is a calculated move, closing the gap for the final burst of speed.
When most of Africa contracts, Botswana chooses the opposite. This nation made a choice very few countries dare to make. Protecting more than 37% of its territory for wildlife, the highest ratio on the continent. This is the story of 3 predator families, none willing to yield. This is the story of survival, in its most unforgiving form. How will these warriors hold their ground, where Botswana never stops testing them? He is young exile, 3 years old when this story begins. Old enough to know this kingdom is waiting for him, but not yet strong enough to take it. By the laws of his species, young male lions are expelled from the pride at around 3 years of age. From that moment, they must survive alone for 2 to 4 years before growing strong enough to challenge the dominant male of another pride. Only 1 in 4 nomadic male lions survives this exile. Botswana will test young exile every single day. The guardian of that kingdom is the alpha lioness, not a king, but the reason this pride still stands. While the boss male eats first, sleeps longer, and controls the territorial boundary, it is the females, lions like the alpha lioness, who are the true backbone of the pride. They hunt, they raise the young, and they stand between every threat and those they protect. And this is the pack. Botswana's wild dogs. 7 African wild dogs holding this territory. The entire world holds roughly 6,700 of their kind, and only around 1,400 of those are breeding adults. This species teeters on the edge of disappearance, but they do not hunt like the weak. The wild dog's hunt success rate is 85%, the highest of any large predator on the African continent. They have not come to Botswana to merely survive. They have come to make this wetland their home. This is the battle for the pride. Survival in the savage kingdom. Botswana sits at the heart of southern Africa, ringed by the Kalahari Desert, one of the largest sand systems on Earth. A desert is not normally a place of abundance, but Botswana holds a geographic secret, found nowhere else on the planet. Each year, rains fall on the Angolan highlands to the north. Water flows south, pouring into the Okavango Valley. And instead of draining to the sea, it seeps into the Kalahari, creating one of the world's great inland deltas. the Okavango Delta. The wet season turns grassland into shallow sea. Prey concentrates on the remaining patches of high ground. The dry season pulls the water back, leaving ribbons of green across dry sand, where prey and predator alike must converge. This is also home to roughly 130,000 African elephants, the largest remaining elephant population on Earth. In Botswana's savage kingdom, elephants are not ordinary prey, and neither are the predators. The first family in the savage kingdom is the lion pride. The boss male weighs more than 200 kilograms, but the pride's strength does not lie with him. It lies with the females. The boss male eats first, sleeps more, and appears to control everything. But the females are the true hunters. They coordinate, they plan, they execute. When lionesses hunt together, success rates reach 30%. This pride has cubs, young lives the world has not yet seen, because their mother brought them to a hidden place before they were born. That was no accident. In lion society, only 1 in 5 cubs survives to year 2. It is a number the alpha lioness carries in her bones. The second family is the African wild dog. 7 in this territory. In the 1990s, in the Moremi area of the Okavango Delta, a single pack could number 50 individuals. Today, 7 is the norm, and 7 is enough to make most of Botswana careful. Wild dogs do not hunt with muscle. They hunt with system. Relay hunting, where one dog pursues until it tires, then another takes over. The chase runs 3 to 5 kilometers, until the prey is spent and out of ground to run. 85% success. The most efficient hunters on the continent. But despite that power, wild dogs are a species on the edge. Their greatest threat is not prey scarcity, it is lions. Lions steal wild dog meals and force the pack to keep moving, to survive. A wild dog pack's territory can span hundreds of square kilometers, partly because they must constantly avoid wherever lions are holding ground. This is a one-sided survival tax until the day the pack decides to test it. The third family is the leopard. Jack is a young male on his way to becoming the shadow ruler of Botswana. He has no pride, no allies. Every hunt is a solitary venture. But in that solitude lies a power neither lion nor wild dog possesses: invisibility. Leopards need no one to know where they are. Jack moves through the dark, hauls prey twice his body weight into the tree crown where no one can steal it. Jack is competing for territory with Madala, a seasoned leopard who has ruled this stretch for 7 years. Madala knows every path, every water source, every ambush point in his domain. But age is something no species escapes, whether lion, wild dog, or leopard. 3 predator families, 3 completely different survival codes, and one kingdom not large enough for all 3, when they all want the same thing at the same time. This is Botswana, where any moment can be the beginning of everything, or the end of it all. Three days ago, the alpha lioness vanished from the pride. No one searched for her. No one asked where she had gone. This is the way of lions. When a female is about to give birth, she leaves the pride and finds complete privacy. A place even the boss male does not know. The birth must be kept secret, because even within her own pride, the pregnant lioness is vulnerable, and newborn lion cubs are more vulnerable still. The alpha lioness has just given birth to two males. Their scent, milk, body warmth, breath, is information that cannot stay secret forever. This is the most vulnerable moment in a lion's life. One of these two cubs has an 80% chance of not reaching its second birthday. The alpha lioness must eat. She needs nutrition to produce the milk. That will keep her two cubs alive. And to eat, she must leave the den. This is the inescapable trap every lion mother faces. When she leaves, that the cubs stay behind, alone. A lion's den has no protection. The wind shifts, and the pack catches a scent. Unlike anything from a normal hunt, not lechwe, not impala, the olfactory system of an African wild dog is acutely sensitive. They are capable of distinguishing each species, each individual, each emotional state. And this scent tells them something in that thicket is worth finding. Seven wild dogs advance toward the den. Not the chaos of a prey chase, not the sprint of relay hunting. This is how wild dogs move when they are surveying. Each animal at a fixed position in the formation, creating maximum observation range with minimum risk. And the alpha lioness sees them. One lioness, 7 wild dogs. 2 cubs with no ability to defend themselves, with no one else beside them. 7 wild dogs with an 85% hunt success rate are a threat even the strongest fully grown lions. Approach with care. She must hold them here, in this open ground, as far from the den as possible. The pack retreats. She wins this time with scratches, but her cubs are safe this time. The wild dogs now know where that den is. They know the lioness is alone. They will come back. These 2 cubs will have to grow fast because Botswana does not recognize the concept of a slow childhood for anyone. Not far away, Jack the leopard is placing his freshly killed impala high in the branches where no one can reach it. He does not eat on the ground. Eating on the ground is an open invitation. The young cubs are beginning their longest learning process. Every action of the alpha lioness is a lesson, which is how to assess threats from afar through ear and tail postures. How to move in high grass without creating ripples that reveal their position. How to make split-second decisions when facing a larger adversary. How to make split-second decisions when facing a larger adversary. Today's lesson, when the alpha lioness faces a pack of wild dogs alone, can only be taught through first-hand experience, with no choice but to stand her ground. And by making it through that moment enough times for it to become second nature, it will no longer be a conscious decision. 4 months have passed. The alpha lioness has brought her 2 cubs back to the pride. A move that could not be delayed. The pride is a lion's fundamental survival unit. A female separated too long means she and her cubs lose collective protection. The real world begins for the 2 cubs here. The cubs' real world begins right here, not in the safety of their warm little den, but within the pride with all its rules, all its competition, and all its hazards. The 2 brothers are learning everything by watching and mimicking. This is the only way a lion can learn, through nothing but observation and practice until they achieve mastery, or learn the hard way. The 3 foundational skills of a predator. Each has a specific purpose. The pounce is the moment of contact. You only get one chance, and if you miss, the prey knows you're there. The leg bite eliminates the prey's ability to move. The pin down is the finish, paired with a decisive bite, and the prey cannot escape. Each skill demands precise timing, the right application of force, and the ability to read the prey's next move. Every skill requires precise timing, the perfect amount of force, and the ability to read the prey's reactions. The first real lesson comes with Cape buffalo. A fully grown buffalo can weigh close to 800 kilograms, with horns that curve like a war bow, and a temperament that respects no one. When a buffalo herd closes ranks, their wall of horns creates a defense. Even a full pride must respect. That wall can only be broken one way. Find the weakness. In every buffalo herd numbering in the hundreds, there are always the older ones, those still recovering from wounds, or one that, for some reason, is isolated and lags a few meters behind the herd. That is all the pride needs. The mature females spread wide in absolute silence, dividing observation zones, without a single signal between them. Experience accumulated over years of hunting together has forged an unspoken coordination. When lionesses hunt together, success rates reach 30%. Alone, that number drops to 17. Teamwork here is not a moral value. It is survival mathematics. But hunting skill is only half the education. The other half is knowing your place in the pride. The boss male eats first, always. The mature females next. The cubs eat last. This rule is non-negotiable. And when the young cub moves toward the prey too soon, the boss male's gaze is enough to stop him. Not every lesson comes from success. Another day, the pride spots a giraffe at the tree line, nearly 5.5 meters tall. A kick from those 2-meter legs can end a lion's life. But the pride feels no fear. They close in. Lion endurance runs out. The giraffe disappears into dense woodland. In Botswana, every hunt is a gamble. There is no perfect formula, only experience. And experience only comes through failure. There is no perfect formula, only experience, and experience only comes through trial and error. This is the lesson the entire pride is taking to heart today, including the young cubs. While the pride process is the lesson of the failed giraffe chase, Jack is running his own hunt. No pride, no allies. Only the dark, the scent of prey, and the ability to close distance in absolute silence. Leopards do not need a cheetah's speed or a lion's strength. They need surprise, and surprise demands patience. But Madala is watching Jack from a distance. That day will come, and when it does, there will be no negotiation. And right now, he is assessing whether Jack measures up at this stage to be a true challenger. That day will come, and when it does, there will be no negotiation. Young male is growing up. His mane is beginning to thicken, his muscle is developing. But he knows, and the boss male knows, that his time in the pride is counting down. Only months remain before the boss male decides these two young males must find their own path. This is the unalterable law of the lion. And it is something that the young man, though not yet fully understanding, is gradually sensing in every interaction with the dominant male. The pride's greatest test is approaching, and after the largest, the most glorious feast for the pride this year, everything will change for good. During the final weeks before exile, the young exile begins paying closer attention to the pride's hunts, not just watching the outcome, but trying to connect the dots. Why is the mature female on that side of the buffalo herd? Why does the strike happen at that exact moment, rather than sooner or later? Why does one female stop when another presses on? He has no answers, but he is asking the questions, and that is the first step. One afternoon from a distance, young exile watches a wild dog pack moving north. This is not the first time he has seen wild dogs, but this is the first time he is seeing them through the eyes of someone seeking answers to a question he does not yet know how to ask. Why does no member of the pack ever drift too far from formation? Why does the lead position rotate? No single animal always in front. And why, after every hunt, does the pack share food equally, instead of a dominant leader eating first? He does not understand yet, but he is watching, and that is the most important thing he can do before exile begins. In the final weeks before exile, young exile begins decoding the pride's unspoken language. Not growls or calls, but the language of space and position. When the boss male shifts direction, the entire pride adjusts. Without any clear signal, when the mature female shifts her ear posture, the others sit up and take notice. This is the nonverbal information network built through years of living together. And the young males are losing access to it. That afternoon, the lion pride moves as a complete family. The boss male leads. The females fan to either side, ears up, eyes sweeping. Young exile and his brother at the center, the safest position of all. None of them know. This is the last time they will move together like this. And then the pride scouts detect a rare opportunity. A young elephant has separated from the herd, far enough that protection cannot arrive instantly. A fully grown elephant standing with its herd can weigh 6 tons and crush a full-grown lion with a single step. But this young elephant, not yet fully grown, estimated at several hundred kilograms, is still prey. And in Botswana, an opportunity like this does not come often. The boss male makes his decision by changing course. The approach takes nearly 10 minutes. This is not the fast raid. This is the highest tier of strategy. The young males are held outside the main ring, large enough to participate but not yet experienced enough to avoid making costly mistakes. They are big enough to participate but lack the experience to avoid causing harm. Because in an elephant hunt, a single misstep by an inexperienced member can ruin the entire strategy. 5 centimeters of canine, nearly 2.5 centimeters of hide. The young elephant does not fall immediately. It fights with everything in a body of several hundred kilograms. These are the most desperate, most painful seconds Botswana can show you. When the entire pride pulls together, the animal finally succumbs. This is the pride's largest meal of the year. This is the most vivid proof that this lion pride is one of the most successful in the savage kingdom. And this is the final time the young male gets to eat alongside his family. The father has already made his decision. And the next day, the boss male delivers his verdict. No explanation, no negotiation. He roars, drives the 2 grown sons back, and every female in the pride stands aside. This is the law. Young male lions must leave the pride and find their own way. If they stay, they will go toe-to-toe with the dominant male, and no lion pride can endure long-term with unresolved internal rivalry. Exile begins. Botswana is larger than any territory young exile has ever known. This is the land between prides, the ground no one owns. And for that reason, every danger can come from any direction. Only 1 in 4 nomadic male lions survives long enough to take over a pride. 3 out of 4 will not make it, from hunger, from injuries left untended, or from run-ins with rival prides. On the first day of exile, they attempt to hunt lechwe, the wetland antelope of Botswana's delta. Lechwe are fast, more agile in shallow water than any other animal in this ecosystem. They know how to use the water to their advantage, running in a direction where the lion's paws become a hindrance instead of an asset. And young exile, though he learned many skills inside the pride, has never hunted as a pair without the mature lionesses coordinating strategy. Their success rate on this first hunt, 0. The average success rate of young male lions in exile is 15 to 25%. The numbers speak volumes about what was lost when they were banished. The same wetland ground, the same prey species. Not speed, not muscle. Relay hunting means one gives chase until it needs to slow down. Another takes over instantly, keeping the pressure on the prey without giving it a chance to catch its breath. The chase spans 3 kilometers. No lechwe can maintain top speed continuously over that distance. But the wild dog pack, by dividing the labor, never needs to hit top speed, merely needing to sustain enough pressure to wear the prey down. Hunt successful. The success rate of the wild dog pack reaches 85%. The difference lies in their system and cooperation, which have been fully optimized. Young exile watches from a distance. He is not looking at the pack as prey. Why can they, and I cannot? And he, even as a young male lion, is beginning to realize that the answer involves something far deeper than the skills he learned within the pride. That answer is coming, but not today. Just like any newly evicted males, he and his brother choose to live stealthily like ghosts in the buffer zone of their old territory. The world out there is full of unfamiliar and aggressive male lion coalitions. Here, at least he knows where the water sources are and knows exactly when to avoid the boss male. He watches his former family, but from a permanently unbridgeable distance. In exile, each water source is a meeting point for many species, and not all of them are friendly. Young exile and his brother must learn to read the signs before approaching, checking whose tracks have been here, which beast's scent is still fresh, or what sound signals that someone else is coming. In Botswana, hunger has layers. There is the hunger of the stomach, what the body can endure for a time. But there is an intellectual hunger, the distinct feeling of knowing you lack something fundamental, that a gap exists between what you know and what you need to know to survive. Young exile is feeling both as he stands by the empty water's edge, long after the wild dog pack has moved on. This failure is the kind that teaches most powerfully. After the Lechwe victory, the pack carries something more dangerous than hunger: confidence. This is what happens when a successful hunt provides both sufficient energy and validation that the pack's strategy is working. Wild dogs move bolder, ranging wider. And today, their direction leads west, toward ground they would normally arc around. Lion territory, the territory the alpha lioness and her pride have held for years. "200 meters from the pride, the alpha lioness's world is completely different. No shade from the acacia canopy, no protection of numbers. She stands alone in the most exposed place, accepting the heat and danger in exchange for peace for the family behind her. The alpha lioness sees them before they see her. From the earthen mound, the highest vantage point, within the pride's territory, she can see the entire grassland ahead. 7 shapes moving toward her, not foraging, not passing through. The African wild dog pack is entering lion territory. She is still the alpha lioness, the pride's symbol of strength and resolve. But time does not wait for anyone, even a lion. The seasons have passed, the hunts, the confrontations, the times she stood between the threat and her cubs. All of it leaves marks. She moves a little slower. Her frame is a bit leaner. This is not weakness. This is the cost of a life lived in constant defense. A cost the alpha lioness accepts every single day without hesitation, but the wild dog pack notices it too. Seven wild dogs, one lioness. The gap narrows. Inside the wild dog pack, a species with formidable collective intelligence, a rapid assessment is underway. One aging lioness, standing alone, no pride nearby. A lion's roar carries infrasound at 18 hertz, below the threshold of human hearing, but other predators respond to it. Not through conscious awareness, but by direct neural response. The low frequency activates the amygdala in the wild dog's brain directly, releasing stress hormones and locking its muscles for one instinctive second. 1 second. Then the pack recalibrates. She must resolve this here. Right now, alone, decisive. The pack retreats. One by one, they turn around and move away. The pack is not afraid of the alpha lioness, but they have recalculated that today's confrontation has no favorable outcome. They will return, not today. Young exile and his brother were there watching all of it. He saw the pack press forward. He saw the alpha lioness not retreat. He saw 23 seconds where neither side moved. And he saw the pack pull back. Not because physical force decided the confrontation, but because of something else. What he lacked when standing empty-handed, by the water's edge after letting the lechwe escape. This is not a lesson in how to defeat wild dogs. This is a lesson in how to not be defeated, in the difference between not yet strong enough and refusing to leave. Botswana has just given young exile the most important lesson available to him in exile. Not from the pride, not from the boss male, not from successful hunts or failures, but from an aging lioness, standing alone on a termite mound or refusing to leave, his mother. He will carry this. The confidence, the collective intelligence, the 85% hunt success rate of the wild dogs. All of it must bow before one thing, the unyielding will of a lion defending territory. But in the mind of this young male, the lesson from the alpha lioness has just been raised to a more ruthless level. If an aging, lone lioness can force this pack of hunters to retreat through sheer will, then what can a young, strong male like him accomplish? He understands the answer for this wetland. He does not need to run like wild dogs to catch lechwe. He only needs to dominate the hunters. The wild dog pack goes hunting again, thrilled with fresh prey beneath the failing light. They are proud, but they have not yet noticed that someone has been watching from the dark. Someone not searching for a hunt, but searching for a takeover. He steps out of the dark, carrying the weight of dominance. No negotiation, only raw muscle. Fused with a lesson just learned. Stand your ground and take. Stealing the wild dog's kill when they are most exposed, young exile formally establishes a new order. for the days of his exile. And this is how he will rule his land in the future, the perfect stepping stone to enter the next chapter of survival. African wild dogs are the living embodiment of collective endurance, with their distinctively mottled coats, each bearing a unique pattern found on no other individual. Wild dogs are the most socially coordinated predators in Africa. They run considerably slower than cheetahs, but can sustain that speed over great distances without losing pace. Their strategy is not to outrun the prey, it is to outlast it. A pursuit accumulation tactic built on stamina. A wild dog pack operates like a relay machine that never stops. This rotating chase keeps constant pressure on the target until prey is fully spent and collapses. The result is a remarkable hunt success rate of 60 to 85%. 3 to 4 times that of lions. Their coordination does not stop at the hunt itself. Even the decision to set out is made democratically. Wild dogs vote by sneezing, and when the number of sneezes crosses a certain threshold, the entire pack moves out together. But this perfectly tuned team strategy also carries heavy losses. Lions are the leading cause of death for African wild dogs, not through direct food competition, but through territorial pack conflicts between the two species. So after every successful hunt, wild dogs must eat as fast as possible before spotted hyenas or lions arrive to steal. This kleptoparasitic behavior is a brutal survival tax that every smaller hunter must pay on the savannah. To reduce conflict, some packs have found a surprising solution. Establishing buffer zones near human settlements, where lions tend to avoid. This tactic reveals a deeper truth, that endurance lies not only in the body, but in the ability to adapt when the rules keep changing. When speed and endurance have finished telling their story, and night falls, the balance of power on the savannah completely shifts, turning the darkness from an obstacle into an ultimate weapon. In the pitch black of the Kruger, a hunter operates completely independently, and that solitude is more than enough to dominate. The leopard is the most perfect solitary hunter on the African savanna, needing neither pack nor peak speed. Its only weapon is absolute ambush. Its menu is vast, from insects and rodents to warthog, but ideal prey weighs between 22 and 90 pounds, roughly the size of an impala or duiker. A leopard's eyes are 6 times more sensitive to light. Than human eyes, thanks to the tapetum lucidum reflective layer and dense rod cells. Its ears can rotate nearly 180 degrees, scanning every frequency in the dark. Paired with tactile whiskers that gauge the width of passages. Through dense vegetation without snapping a dry twig. Because of soft padded feet and fully retracted claws, every step a leopard takes is near total silence. It closes on prey to within 10 to 30 feet before striking. Then delivers a precise kill bite to the nape or throat. However, making the kill is only half the equation. Because on the savannah, the scent of blood spreads faster than any runner. Spotted hyenas can detect the sound of bones breaking from miles away, and lions can easily catch the scent of blood carried by the wind. The leopard's solution is to drag the carcass into the tree, and its neck and shoulder muscles are so developed. It can carry prey 2 to 3 times its own body weight up into the canopy. Up there, the meal is completely safe. From lions or hyenas, creating a hanging pantry, high up in the canopy, a vault to which only the leopard holds the key. With no pride to share the burden and no allies to lean on, everything from hunting and protecting to raising the cubs is carried entirely on its shoulders alone. They are called the ghosts of the savannah, not because they are rare, but because even standing directly in front of you, they remain completely invisible. In the Kruger region, the leopard density is among the highest in Africa, yet even the most veteran safari guides must admit that crossing paths with a leopard is a stroke of immense luck in one's lifetime. Lions are sophisticated predators, whose true purpose awakens when the sun sets, not the idle sleepers that daytime shade suggests. Craig Packer's 2011 study found that on full moon nights, lions reduce activity significantly and cede roughly 40% of prime time to competing species. This explains why lion attacks on humans tend to increase in the days immediately after a full moon, when they are hungriest and most desperate. By contrast, on moonless nights, lions hold absolute dominance thanks to the tapetum lucidum, night vision 6 to 8 times sharper than a human's. Their night vision is 6 to 8 times sharper than a human's, leaving their prey completely blind in the dark. The decisive factor in their success is coordinated formation strategy, a stage from which the males are entirely absent. The lioness pride splits into 2 groups, a flanking team that silently encircles from both sides and a center team that drives panicking prey directly into the preset ambush. Lionesses can burst to 80 kilometers per hour, choosing terrain with heavy vegetation and limited sight lines, so prey cannot react in time. With iron discipline and a deep mutual understanding, the pride of lionesses operates as the most patient and ruthless assassins of the savannah. Yet the lion's power also lies in kleptoparasitism of other species. This systematic strategy earns them up to 50% of their annual food intake in the Ngorongoro and Serengeti regions. This brutal survival tax costs cheetahs 10 to 15% of their kills, and wild dogs even more, forcing smaller hunters to eat fast, cache kills in trees, or accept the loss. Inside that landscape of theft, the spotted hyena has rewritten all the rules of survival and shattered the assumption that they are merely scavengers. In reality, spotted hyenas are apex predators with relentless endurance, over long distances, operating within a highly flexible fission-fusion pack structure. Their most remarkable quality is their brain. Spotted hyenas solve coordination puzzles faster than even chimpanzees. complex social intelligence allows them to run a matriarchal clan with real structure. Feeding priority is determined by social rank, not random violence, proving collective intelligence as a weapon that can break any brute force. Located in the southwestern and central parts of South Africa, the Karoo and succulent Karoo are two of the most iconic semi-arid regions in Africa. The landscape here is dominated by vast plains, scattered low mountain ranges, and ancient rocky soils that are mineral-rich but nutrient-poor. With arid conditions year-round and large temperature swings between day and night, this environment has given rise to an ecosystem uniquely adapted to water scarcity. The succulent Karoo stands out as one of the only semi-desert regions in the world designated as a biodiversity hotspot, thanks to its remarkably high density of endemic succulent plant species. This area vividly reflects the incredible adaptability and evolutionary ingenuity of life when faced with extreme ecological limits. The rock hyrax is one of the standout residents of the Karoo. Surprisingly, while it may resemble a large guinea pig, the rock hyrax is actually a close relative of elephants. Both species belong to the superorder Afrotheria, a shared evolutionary branch that dates back around 65 million years. This species prefers living among the rocky crevices of the Karoo, where it can hide from predators and bask in the sun throughout the day. Weighing about 4 to 5 kilograms, it has thick fur that helps retain warmth during chilly nights and offers protection against daytime heat. According to various studies, rock hyraxes typically live in groups, huddling together to maintain body temperature and reduce water loss in the arid heat. Morning sunbathing also aids their digestion, helping to break down dry grasses and leaves with the help of a multi-chambered stomach filled with specialized microbes, a digestive system structurally similar to that of ruminants, even though they do not chew cud. Rock hyraxes are also well known for their lookout skills. Within each group, one individual usually takes on sentry duty from a high perch, calling out alarm signals when danger is near. These warning calls quickly spread through the group, allowing them all to vanish into the rocks within seconds. Additionally, the structure of their feet, equipped with moist, rubbery pads, provides strong grip on steep surfaces, allowing them to climb and move effortlessly across the rugged cliffs of the Karoo. If the black rhino represents quiet resilience in a harsh land, then the ostrich is its striking contrast. Bold and built for speed, like a long-distance runner always ready to dash. The ostrich is the largest bird in the world. Though flightless, it is incredibly fast on foot, reaching speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour when escaping threats. An ostrich can stand up to 2.5 meters tall and weigh around 100 kilograms. Its long legs and powerful thighs enable strides of up to 5 meters per step. They can run at a steady pace of around 60 kilometers per hour and maintain that speed for 30 to 40 minutes straight. Ostriches live in small flocks of 5 to 50 individuals, especially during breeding season or when food is scarce. This group behavior helps enhance visibility and vigilance against predators. When sensing danger, they may drop low with their heads to the ground to blend into the wild landscape. Their diet consists mainly of plant matter, leaves, grasses, herbs, and occasionally fruits and small insects. Thanks to a two-chambered stomach and the aid of grit and stones in their digestive tract, they can break down tough fibers efficiently, a valuable trait in dry environments. Their body temperature is regulated through special mechanisms. During extreme heat, they fluff their feathers to release heat and cool down through the bare skin on their neck and wings. Their broad chest and long neck also help conserve energy and support circulation. A 2024 study published in Bird Conservation Review estimated ostrich density in the region at about 2 to 4 individuals per square kilometer. This reflects a stable population even as habitats shift. Long-term observations also show that flocks move together to optimize food access and avoid predatory threats. During breeding season, males may lead a harem of 2 to 7 females and actively defend the nesting territory. Mated pairs share incubation duties in a communal nest to maximize the survival chances of their chicks. In a habitat like this, every species needs a strong survival instinct, and the bat-eared fox is no exception. As its name suggests, this fox is known for its oversized ears, measuring about 11 to 13 centimeters. These large ears enhance its hearing for detecting insects and help dissipate heat in the hot sun. Bat-eared foxes primarily feed on underground insects, especially termites and crickets. A single individual can consume up to 1.15 million termites per year. They live in lifelong pairs across dry grasslands, digging complex burrows for shelter, breeding, and protecting their young. Each partner takes on clearly defined roles. Both individuals dig and defend their own portion of the shared territory. Their habitat consists of short grass savannas with sparse vegetation, ideal for spotting termites and allowing efficient heat regulation. A 2024 study also reported that they can occupy territories ranging from 0.3 to 3.5 square kilometers. When termites are scarce, these foxes adapt by eating beetles, larvae, grasshoppers, and even seasonal fruits and berries. Bat-eared foxes have a unique dental structure, with more teeth than most other mammals, specially designed to grind hard-shelled insects efficiently. This adaptation suits their insect-heavy diet perfectly. They also have distinctive communication methods. Pairs use their tails and ears to express emotions and emit soft whimpers to maintain social bonding. These interactions help reinforce mutual respect and support the defense of their shared home range. Also known for their brave sentry work, meerkats stand out with a survival strategy built around strong group dynamics and a tightly organized alert system. They live in clans and display clear lookout behavior. Often seen standing upright on their hind legs, they scan the wide open land for signs of danger from a distance. Super sentinels take on the role of warning their group about threats like birds of prey or ground predators using distinct vocal signals. A single meerkat group can include up to 40 members, functioning as a unified unit with clearly defined roles. Beyond standing guard, individuals are also responsible for caring for young, training juveniles, digging burrows, and supporting injured members. Their front limbs, equipped with sharp claws, allow them to dig deep underground tunnels with multiple entrances and exits. These burrows offer stable temperatures, protecting them from the harsh extremes of heat and cold. Meerkats are most active in the early morning and late afternoon when the climate is more comfortable. According to a 2024 report by the Kalahari Meerkat Project, meerkats are among the few small animals with a highly effective form of collective logistics on par with higher primates. Their navigational abilities have also drawn attention. They memorize the landscape around their den and use the position of the sun as a natural compass. Even when they travel far in search of food, they can return precisely to their home tunnel by recalling routes and the locations of nearby secondary burrows. In semi-arid conditions where resources are scattered, this spatial awareness is key to their survival. From the semi-arid regions of the West, the landscape of South Africa gradually transforms into a contrasting world in the East, where lush green savannas stretch wide and vibrant rivers flow with life. This area includes the Kruger grasslands, scattered woodlands, and the Limpopo Olifants river system, forming one of the country's most complex and dynamic ecological zones. The terrain here is mostly flat, dotted with gentle hills and a mix of tall grasses and shrub vegetation. A well-defined rainy season, combined with consistently high temperatures, helps replenish surface water and sustain the entire food chain. This is the ecological heartbeat of South Africa's wild nature, a place where life pulses with unmistakable energy. Though not as nimble or swift as some of the smaller creatures in the region, the stronghold of the black rhinoceros remains resilient and continues to thrive in this harsh environment. As one of the big five species, the black rhinoceros is well adapted to semi-arid habitats, feeding primarily on shrubs rather than grass. Despite its poor eyesight, the rhino has an exceptional sense of smell, making it highly alert and difficult to approach. By the end of 2023, the population of black rhinos in South Africa stood at approximately 2,065 individuals, accounting for nearly 1/3 of the species' total population across Africa. Though large and robust in appearance, the black rhino is surprisingly sensitive and easily unsettled by sudden climate changes or close human presence. They often react defensively, even when a threat is not immediately obvious. Each individual maintains its own territory and lives mostly in solitude, interacting with others only during mating seasons. Interestingly, rather than relying on their own kind, black rhinos share a symbiotic relationship with the red-billed oxpecker. These birds perch on the rhino's back or neck, picking off ticks and skin parasites. More importantly, oxpeckers act as living alarm systems. When they detect unusual movement, they emit loud warning calls, helping rhinos stay alert despite their poor vision. Research published in Current Biology indicates that oxpeckers help rhinos detect threats from more than twice the distance they could on their own. Though the birds may sometimes peck at wounds to drink blood, the overall benefits of early warnings and skin cleaning far outweigh this behavior in the wild. Black rhinos are browsers, feeding on leaves, twigs, and shoots from various shrubs. A 2024 study at Velgavonden Nature Reserve found that their diet includes over 80 plant species, from the Euphorbiaceae family to Acacia species. When food is scarce, they can digest plants with mild toxins thanks to specialized gut microbes. Notably, they can go over 5 days without drinking water, drawing moisture from the vegetation they consume, a vital adaptation in semi-desert climates. Their body is built for solitary living. A short, strong neck helps them pull down branches close to the ground. Their hook-shaped upper lip allows them to select tender shoots among dense bushes. To conserve energy, they move slowly and tend to be active at dawn and dusk when temperatures are cooler. Their hearing is also highly developed, enabling them to detect distant sounds and determine direction. However, due to their heightened alertness, approaching them in the wild is usually limited to distant observation. They react strongly to unfamiliar noises and often turn away or dash off to avoid close encounters. Black rhinos reproduce slowly, with a gestation period lasting up to 15 months and typically producing only one calf at a time. The young stay close to their mother for 2 to 3 years. This long reproductive cycle, combined with their solitary nature, means that even under ideal conditions, the population recovers only gradually. A 2025 study from the Zululand Wildlife Corridor highlighted that without genetic support from other populations, their annual growth rate averages just 4.2%. This species has endured a turbulent survival history. From over 70,000 individuals in the late 1960s, their population dropped to around 2,410 by 2004 across Africa, a dramatic 90% decline over 3 generations. Their slow recovery has been the result of rigorous conservation efforts, including anti-poaching measures and habitat protection. Despite these efforts, the black rhinoceros remains listed as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature due to the steep population decline in the last century. In South Africa, reserves like Kruger, Hluluve Imfolozi, and privately managed lands are enforcing strict protection strategies. These include round-the-clock armed patrols, individual GPS monitoring, and controlled dehorning to reduce the species' commercial value to poachers. Thanks to these efforts, poaching rates in key areas have seen a notable decline from 2022 to 2024. The Kruger grasslands form a core part of the eastern savanna, distinguished by tall grasses, scattered shrubs, and its signature reddish soil. This vast ecological region lies within Kruger National Park, the largest national park in South Africa, covering more than 19,000 square kilometers. The blend of flat terrain, underground water sources, and a pronounced rainy season has made this area an ideal habitat for numerous links in the natural food chain. Amid the vast grasslands of Kruger, where the Olifants River winds through tall grasses and scattered shrubs, Nyala emerge like quiet shadows, graceful and watchful. They don't mingle with the boisterous bustle of savanna life, but choose the edges, where riverside thickets offer just enough cover to stay hidden and just enough openness to observe from afar. The male Nyala is unmistakable. Its bluish-gray coat is etched with fine white stripes down the flanks, like hand-carved patterns. Atop its head, spiral horns twist tightly in elegant loops, catching early sunlight with a soft golden sheen. In contrast, The female wears a gentler reddish-brown tone with fewer markings, perfect for blending into tall grass when retreat is needed. Nyalas live in small groups, sometimes just a few individuals. They move quietly, often choosing the margins of thickets near water, areas with enough vegetation for feeding and enough open ground for a quick escape. Unlike many other antelope species, they do not graze on grass. Their diet includes leaves, fallen fruit, tender branches, and occasionally bark. This selective feeding plays a special role in managing low-level vegetation, especially during the dry season when other herbivores are limited by dwindling grass supplies. Though slender in build, nyalas are exceptionally alert. A slight movement in the distance can bring the whole group to a standstill. If they sense a threat, they produce a sharp, dog-like bark. Some scatter, while others remain. This unpredictable dispersal pattern makes it harder for large predators to close in. At Kruger National Park, the nyala population remains steady. A study published in Landscape Ecology in 2025 by the University of Pretoria and South African National Parks documented nearly 1,200 sightings through camera traps over 12 months, confirming their consistent presence along the riverine woodland corridors. Beneath the seemingly calm surface of the Mediterranean Sea, a vibrant and intense world unfolds every second. Atlantic bluefin tuna, the fastest tuna in the ocean, rockets forward like a steel arrow, chasing down schools of anchovies with powerful precision. But in the west, the orca, nature's most strategic hunter, emerges quietly like a calculated nightmare. At depths of 1,000 meters, sperm whales search for giant squid, navigating the icy darkness using a sonar system that echoes through the deep. The great white shark, rare but formidable, occasionally drifts by like a ghost, its single bite enough to seal the fate of its target. Among the coral reefs, the lionfish, an invasive species with a dazzling appearance, spreads its venomous fins, disrupting the balance of the native food web. These are just glimpses of the intricate survival maze that is the Mediterranean. Nestled between three ancient continents, where Europe meets Africa and Asia, the Mediterranean Sea is a living natural world, sculpted over time by geology, the sea, and the passage of centuries. Spanning approximately 2.5 million square kilometers with a coastline stretching up to 46,000 kilometers, it is the world's largest semi-enclosed sea on Earth. It connects to the Atlantic Ocean through the Strait of Gibraltar, a narrow throat linking the deep inland waters to the vast open sea. Nowhere else do Europe and Africa come so close, just 14 kilometers apart. Today, the Mediterranean Sea stands as one of the world's major biodiversity hotspots. Its distinct climate, known as the Mediterranean climate, with hot, dry summers and mild, wet winters, shapes the coastal vegetation, ocean currents, and shoreline rainfall patterns. Among the more than 17,000 recorded marine species, there are over 11,000 species of invertebrates, around 650 species of fish, 11 species of marine mammals, 5 species of sea turtles, and more than 500 species of seabirds, either resident or migratory. However, that rich biodiversity is under serious threat, with nearly 1,000 non-native species having entered the region, most through the Suez Canal, alongside the mounting impacts of climate change, pollution, and overexploitation. From the Strait of Gibraltar, the Western Mediterranean takes shape as a distinct biological realm, the first to receive cold, oxygen-rich and nutrient-loaded waters from the Atlantic. This region stretches from Gibraltar to the western edge of Sicily, encompassing the Alboran Sea, the Balearic Islands, Sardinia, Corsica, and the southeastern coasts of Spain, southern France, and western Italy. Cool, oxygen-rich waters with oxygen concentrations at mid-depths from 200 to 600 meters, often exceeding 170 micromoles per kilogram, create ideal conditions for marine life to thrive. In the Alboran Sea especially, a natural process called upwelling occurs frequently. Deep waters rise to the surface, bringing nitrates and phosphates that fuel explosive growth in phytoplankton populations. As a result, this area holds the highest primary productivity levels in the entire Mediterranean region. Beneath the clear blue surface lie lush meadows of seagrass known as Mediterranean tapeweed, an ancient and uniquely native marine plant. These underwater forests store carbon, produce oxygen, and serve as vital shelters for hundreds of species of fish, invertebrates, and seabirds. Though one of the rare flowering plants that live entirely underwater, Mediterranean tapeweed grows incredibly slowly, only a few centimeters per year, making any damage from anchors or pollution take decades to heal. In deeper waters, clusters of long-living sea oysters build massive limestone reefs over centuries, forming coral cities in places untouched by sunlight. While the loggerhead sea turtle dives deep along the seafloor in search of food, another creature drifts slowly through the sunlit waters above, where the sea is gentler and light is ever present. It is the ocean sunfish, the gentle giant of the sea, with a flattened, disc-like body that resembles a drifting saucer, basking quietly in the open waters of the western Mediterranean with an air of mysterious calm. Shaped like a severed fish head missing its tail, the ocean sunfish lacks a traditional tail fin. Instead, it features a unique structure called the clavus, part fin, part rudder. Its two large vertical fins flap like oars, giving it a slow, awkward swimming motion that looks more like drifting than swimming. Weighing up to 2,700 kilograms, the ocean sunfish holds the record as the heaviest bony fish in the world. Yet within that massive body lies a gentle creature with a tiny mouth and fused teeth forming a beak-like structure, perfectly adapted for grinding soft-bodied prey such as jellyfish, squid, shrimp, and plankton. For much of the day, ocean sunfish stay near the surface, where the temperature is stable and food is abundant. In the western Mediterranean, they are especially drawn to the Alboran Sea and waters near the Balearic Islands, where cold, nutrient-rich currents rise from the depths through upwelling. Their signature sunbathing behavior often takes place in the morning, when mola mola floats on its side under the sun. This not only helps regulate body temperature after nighttime dives into deeper waters, but also offers a chance for cleaner fish and seabirds to remove parasites from their thick, leathery skin. Some individuals are capable of diving to depths greater than 200 meters, though only for brief periods. According to tracking data from a tagged individual in 2022, ocean sunfish travel an average of more than 8 kilometers per day and can cover nearly 4,000 kilometers in a single year. They move like solitary wanderers of the ocean's surface layers, quiet, slow, and entirely unlike the lively chatter of dolphin pods. But deeper down, in the twilight layers, another presence emerges, the Risso's dolphin, a silvery gray species etched with white scars across its skin. Beneath the dark blue waters of the Alboran Sea, pods of orcas are often seen patrolling tuna grounds, where local fishermen set traditional tuna traps. With finely tuned hearing and meticulous encircling tactics, they target adult Atlantic bluefin tuna, fish renowned for their power and speed. When a robust tuna is hooked on a fisherman's line, orcas may linger near the boats, waiting for the moment it's hauled up to swiftly claim the catch. Hunting a bluefin can take hours, demanding stamina and extraordinary cooperation. But stealing fish from humans, that takes a level of intelligence few other ocean predators can match. Biologically, orcas possess brains comparable in size to those of African elephants, with the second highest brain-to-body mass ratio among marine mammals, second only to humans. Their neocortex, the region associated with emotion and social cognition, is highly developed, enabling empathy, learning, and even behaviors resembling mourning for lost companions. Despite the nickname killer whale, the orca is in fact the largest member of the Delphinidae family, the oceanic dolphins. Evolutionarily, they diverged from their closest dolphin relatives around 2 million years ago, forming a distinct lineage of apex predators. In the Western Mediterranean, orcas are rare but not unfamiliar residents. They are most commonly observed around the Strait of Gibraltar and the Alboran Sea, where cold Atlantic waters meet the warm, nutrient-rich layers of the Mediterranean. The regional population is estimated at just 40 to 60 individuals, with about 4 to 5 stable pods consistently tracked through dorsal fin patterns and unique vocal signatures. This low population density makes them highly sensitive to human impact, but it also offers an invaluable window into the fine-scale study of social behavior and cultural transmission. Orca groups in Gibraltar have been identified with distinct acoustic dialects, featuring unique sequences and frequencies of sounds not shared by other offshore populations. Each pod maintains its own vocal language for communication and navigation, revealing the presence of regional culture, a concept once thought to be exclusive to humans. Like elephants on land, an older matriarch often leads the pod, passing down knowledge, guiding migration routes, and teaching hunting techniques. Young orcas stay bonded with their mothers for life. In the Strait of Gibraltar and the Alboran Sea, orcas glide through the deep like ancient spirits. Carrying the memory of the ocean, acoustic maps, and traditional hunting skills across the vast Mediterranean, they don't just hunt tuna, they take on even the fiercest sharks. Leaving behind the cool, oxygen-rich waters of the Western Mediterranean, the current flows eastward into the Central Mediterranean. This region stretches from eastern Sardinia, southern Italy, and Malta to the coastal waters of Libya and Tunisia, encompassing key basins such as the Tyrrhenian Sea, the Ionian Sea, and the Sicilian Channel. It includes the deepest part of the entire Mediterranean, Calypso Deep in the Ionian Sea, reaching more than 5,100 meters. Sea temperatures here range from 13 to 26 degrees Celsius throughout the year. Salinity is higher than in the Western Basin, averaging around 38.5 to 39 practical salinity unit. Currents in the region are shaped by complex eddies, especially around the Strait of Sicily. These mesoscale eddies draw nutrients from the deep to the surface, supporting phytoplankton growth and fueling a stable marine food chain. Species like sardines, anchovies, bluefin tuna, and striped dolphins frequently migrate through these waters. Along the coast, Posidonia oceanica, red coral, and deep-dwelling algae like Philariopsis are still present, especially in areas with complex seabed topography. Though the region continues to support a strong food chain and stable hydrology, it faces growing challenges in balancing biological productivity with increasing pressure from industrial exploitation. In the heart of the central Mediterranean Sea, where surface waters deepen into rich indigo as they drift away from shore, striped dolphins are a frequent sight. They swim in pods ranging from a few dozen to several hundred, surfacing and diving in a crisp, synchronized rhythm. With slender bodies measuring around 2 to 2.5 meters and distinct black stripes running from their eyes to their flanks, these dolphins are swift movers, drawn to offshore waters often deeper than 1,000 meters. They appear along the eastern edge of Sardinia, down through southern Italy and Malta, weaving through nutrient-rich eddies near the coasts of Libya and Tunisia. They aren't solitary hunters, but rather high-speed performers, darting across the sea surface so quickly that fishers often call them streakers. In the Gulf of Taranto, surveys from 2011 to 2015 recorded an average density of about 0.97 individuals per square kilometer, translating to a population of roughly 10,000. In the Gulf of Corinth, a transitional ecological zone connecting to the central Mediterranean, another estimate placed the total population at 1,331 individuals. Beneath the deep blue surface, striped dolphins are a spectacle of kinetic energy. They can leap 6 to 7 meters into the air, twisting their tails mid-flight like ballet dancers of the sea. In the ocean's quiet canvas, each leap is a vibrant stroke against an abstract backdrop. Yet behind that sense of freedom lies a sophisticated social structure. Striped dolphins often live in large pods, structured through a complex fission-fusion dynamic. After weaning, juveniles live separately in youth groups. Adults divide into reproductive and non-reproductive groups, maintaining genetic stability and reducing internal competition. Each individual plays a role in hunting, keeping watch, or guiding the younger generation. The sounds they produce, including clicks, burst pulses, and whistles, are used for communication and serve as tools to organize their social life with remarkable coordination. At depths beyond 500 meters, where light no longer penetrates, striped dolphins continue to hunt with precision. They descend into the mesopelagic zone, rich in squid, fish, and crustaceans, using their advanced echolocation to locate prey. These nighttime hunts align with the upward migration of prey towards shallower waters. By day, the dolphins often retreat to quieter nearshore zones, still deep enough to remain safe from human disturbance. In recent years, however, industrial fishing, vessel traffic, and noise pollution have pushed these dolphins away from their traditional gathering areas, leaving only fading traces of past migration patterns. Emerging evidence also points to interspecies aggression. Striped dolphins may be attacked by bottlenose dolphins. Forensic data from the Western Mediterranean shows that 27.5% of striped dolphin deaths bore signs of physical trauma linked to competition with bottlenose dolphins over habitat space. This marks a troubling sign of ecosystem imbalance accelerating faster than expected, yet data from the Habitat Directive Monitoring Program offers hope. Striped dolphin populations are capable of recovery if given proper protection. With a stable social system, remarkable hunting skills, and agile movement through shifting currents, they continue to resist environmental pressures with resilience from within. Just beyond the hunting grounds of the mako shark in the deep waters of the central Mediterranean, among vast seafloor ridges and continental shelves, the sperm whale emerges. Its massive, square-shaped head, taking up nearly 1/3 of its body length, houses the unique spermaceti organ, functioning like a giant acoustic lens. This organ amplifies a series of clicks into powerful ultrasonic beams for echolocation, the whale's only tool for navigating and hunting in the absolute darkness of the deep. One biological hypothesis suggests that the whale may regulate the temperature of this waxy substance to alter its density, helping control buoyancy during deep dives. A sperm whale's hunting journey often lasts up to 90 minutes. These dives reach depths of around 1,000 meters, with some records surpassing 2,200 meters, allowing access to large squid, a favorite food source in the pitch-black ocean. The circular scars found on their bodies are often the legacy of intense battles with giant squid. The social behavior of sperm whales in the central Mediterranean is more complex than one might expect. Female whales and calves live together in matrilineal groups, cooperating to raise the next generation. Mature males, on the other hand, live solitary lives or form small bachelor groups, only joining the females during breeding season. Communication is carried out through a system of codas, rhythmic sequences of clicks varying in number and tempo, like the Morse code of the sea. The reproductive biology of sperm whales is exceptionally slow. Females reach breeding length at around 10 to 12 meters, while males grow to about 16 to 18 meters, weighing tens of tons. With challenging reproductive cycles, long pregnancies, and low birth rates, population growth happens at a glacial pace. Dives that last up to an hour or more into the abyss push the limits of pressure and oxygen. The sperm whale's body is built to endure extreme depths. Its ribcage is flexible rather than rigid, allowing it to compress under pressure without breaking. Still, studies have found that older whale skeletons often show signs of vascular necrosis, similar to decompression sickness in humans. The sperm whale population in the Mediterranean is a distinct biological unit, currently listed as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. About 97% of recorded individuals are found in the Western Mediterranean. The Eastern Mediterranean holds only a sparse population, primarily concentrated along the Hellenic Trench, estimated at just 200 to 300 individuals. Roughly 50 social groups have been identified in total, representing around 400 individuals living in localized areas. Key threats driving population decline include entanglement in fishing gear, ship strikes, maritime noise, and chemical and plastic pollution. Recently, ACOBAMS identified a shipping route running close to the Hellenic Trench, where sperm whales congregate, as a high-risk collision zone. Research has proposed rerouting traffic to reduce these risks. With only a few thousand individuals remaining, spread across isolated regional pockets, targeted conservation and international cooperation are critical to preserving this living symbol of the deep sea. Dive down to depths of around 20 to 80 meters, where the reefs lie cloaked in shadow and the currents grow still, and you'll encounter a creature entirely different from the dusky shark. The Mediterranean moray is a master of staying put, choosing to live hidden among narrow rock crevices, using stealth as its survival strategy, perfectly adapted to tight spaces and the dimming light of deeper waters. Its long, muscular body is coated in a slick layer of mucus that protects against parasites, sharp surfaces, and reduces friction as it slithers through jagged reef crevices. In some cases, this mucus layer contains mild hemolytic toxins that can cause slight skin irritation upon direct contact with humans. Its back is covered in irregular mottled patterns resembling fractured stone, blending artfully with the seabed and offering excellent camouflage. A continuous ribbon-like fin runs from the dorsal to the tail, wrapping the body in a silken flow that allows the moray to glide in soft wave-like movements. This species is loyal to fixed rock formations and coral reefs, sometimes found scattered as deep as 100 meters. Each individual may occupy a small, defined territory for many years, showing a clear sense of territoriality. The Mediterranean moray grows slowly, with an average lifespan of up to 38 years. Adults typically reach lengths of 1.2 to 1.5 meters. During daylight hours, they remain almost fully hidden in crevices, with only their head peeking out to observe their surroundings. When night falls, they slip silently from their shelters, using their acute sense of smell to follow trails of blood, slime, or decay. Their diet is diverse, but primarily includes small fish, crabs, shrimp, and especially octopus and squid, prey that are also active during the night. In addition to their sharp outer jaws, they possess a set of pharyngeal jaws located deep in the throat, capable of lunging forward to pull prey into the esophagus. This mechanism operates independently from the main jaws, enabling the moray to catch and swallow prey efficiently in tight spaces where other fish would struggle to create suction. Mediterranean morays also allow cleaner shrimp to enter their mouths or gill slits to remove parasites and leftover food debris. This behavior is commonly observed on reefs in the Aegean and Levantine seas, showing that even in an ecosystem with low biological productivity, delicate natural balance systems still persist. Historically, this species held notable status. The ancient Romans kept them in artificial saltwater ponds called vivaria, where they were raised as a delicacy for the elite. By the late 19th century, when humans carved the Suez Canal to shorten trade routes between Europe and Asia, few realized they were also linking two marine ecosystems that had remained separate for millions of years. Trade became more efficient, but the biological boundaries quietly dissolved. As invaders like the silver-cheeked toadfish continue to spread, disrupting food webs and unraveling coastal ecosystems, one ancient symbol of the Mediterranean clings quietly to survival. The Mediterranean monk seal, the rarest seal species in the world, carries no toxins, no overpowering tactics, only a deep-rooted instinct for survival. Tucked away in hidden sea caves and increasingly fragile coastal waters, once common from Morocco to the Black Sea, the Mediterranean monk seal was nearly wiped out after centuries of hunting for its skin and oil. By the early 21st century, fewer than 500 individuals remained on Earth. Thanks to dedicated conservation efforts, by 2024, the population has risen to an estimated 815 to 997 individuals, found primarily in Greece, Turkey, and Mauritania. Greece and Turkey together now host about 30 to 40% of the global population. Once they gave birth on open beaches, but now these seals seek refuge deep inside water-flooded caves, dark, secluded, and difficult to reach, a survival strategy born from a long history of human persecution. Ironically, this behavior now makes them vulnerable to sea level rise and powerful storms, which can flood or wash away entire caves along with their pups. Unlike many pinnipeds that gather in large colonies, monk seals tend to live solitary lives. With dark brown coats and rounded heads, they've earned their nickname as the quiet monks of the sea. Yet their ecological role is far from quiet. As top predators, they help regulate populations of bottom-dwelling fish, cephalopods, and crustaceans in shallow waters under 200 meters, often rich in seagrass beds and rocky bottoms. Greece is currently home to the largest known population, with key sites including Ascension Island and the Alonissos Marine Park, where the number of pups has increased by 185% over the past 2 decades. Turkey has recorded about 120 individuals along the coasts of Mersin, Hatay, and Antalya, areas that have become increasingly important as migratory and breeding corridors for the species. Still, they continue to face threats from fishing nets, tourism activity, and high levels of inbreeding due to isolation. Not cunning like the toadfish, nor radiant like the lionfish, the monk seal survives through quiet resilience and adaptation. Its return is living proof of nature's ability to recover when given the chance. The geological history of the Mediterranean Sea reads like a tale of upheaval and transformation. Around 5.9 million years ago, this sea nearly dried up entirely during the event known as the Messinian salinity crisis. Water from the Atlantic Ocean was cut off, turning the entire basin into a vast, salty wasteland with sprawling salt lakes and sediment layers several kilometers thick. But just a few 100,000 years later came a cataclysmic return, the Zanclean flood. Water from the Atlantic Ocean surged back in, refilling the massive basin in just a few years, with a flow rate estimated to be 1,000 times greater than today's Amazon River. This event didn't just restore the sea, it reignited a new cycle of life. Only 11% of species managed to survive the environmental shock, and it took another 1.7 million years for biodiversity to fully recover. Positioned at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa, the Mediterranean has long served as a lifeline, nurturing the rise of brilliant ancient civilizations, like the Roman Empire, Greek city-states, and the Kingdom of Egypt. Its waves once carried Phoenician merchants, Roman legions, and even the missionary footsteps of St. Paul, who chose this very sea as the path to carry the word beyond the borders of Judea, planting seeds of faith from Antioch all the way to Rome. And this same sea, through thousands of years, has continued to hold its global stature, not only in the flow of history, but now also in the flow of commerce. Each year, the Mediterranean moves about 12% of global trade, equivalent to 1.9 trillion United States dollars, linking goods from Asia and the Middle East to Europe and the Americas. All of it depends on four key maritime choke points: the Strait of Gibraltar connecting to the Atlantic Ocean, the Suez Canal leading to the Red Sea, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait opening toward the Indian Ocean, and the Strait of Sicily managing traffic within the basin. Even a minor disruption, like the Suez Canal blockage in 2021, can shake the global supply chain, causing tens of billions of dollars in losses each day. Today, the Mediterranean is far more than the largest semi-enclosed sea on Earth. It is where history, ecology, faith, and geopolitics flow together in a shared heartbeat of the world. Amid the cool blue waters where oxygen and sunlight are abundant, a tiny splash of color suddenly appears on the weathered cliffs. That's the Atlantic puffin. Often nicknamed the clown of the sea for its striking triangular beak painted in bright red, orange, yellow, and slate gray, the puffin's colorful look feels almost hand-drawn. This vibrant palette only emerges in spring, during breeding season, and fades quietly away when winter returns. But the puffin's beak isn't just for show. Its inner structure is finely engineered, with tiny spines and ridged grooves along the roof of the mouth. With this setup, a single puffin can dive and catch over 10 fish at once, neatly stacked in its beak, held in place as if by a perfectly tuned mechanism. Though round-bodied and clumsy-looking on land, the puffin becomes a transformed creature beneath the surface, an expert swimmer. Its small wings work like underwater paddles, generating powerful thrust in the water. Paired with its bright orange, webbed feet acting as rudders, the puffin can dive as deep as 60 meters and stay submerged for 20 to 30 seconds per hunting trip. Its ability to steer and adjust speed mid-dive allows it to chase down small fish efficiently, even through swirling currents. During their migration, puffins travel along ocean currents and wind streams in search of nutrient-rich waters. The Alboran Sea, in particular, benefits from the interplay between Atlantic flows and local winds, producing a recurring upwelling effect. This surge in nutrients boosts phytoplankton growth, setting off a chain reaction that leads to dense schools of small fish, an underwater feast perfect for puffins to refuel. By hunting in the mid-depth layers, where competition is low and prey is plentiful, puffins can feed rapidly, then rest while floating at the surface, a smart way to conserve energy. Now, let's dive deeper beneath the waves. Diving deeper beneath the waters where the Risso's dolphin just vanished, we enter the world of the Atlantic bluefin tuna. This is the largest and most powerful of all bluefin species. In the ocean's grand design, they are speed machines, nature's near-perfect creation. Always moving, always fighting to survive and to spawn. Adult Atlantic bluefin tuna can grow up to 3.2 meters long and weigh nearly 900 kilograms. Their circulatory system features a mechanism called rete mirabile, allowing them to maintain body temperatures 10 to 15 degrees Celsius higher than the surrounding water. This thermal advantage lets them stay fast and powerful even at depths below 500 meters, where most species slow down as their muscles lose warmth. Their bodies are built almost entirely of muscle in constant motion. They cruise steadily at speeds up to 40 kilometers per hour and can burst past 70 kilometers per hour in a flash. But more remarkable than their power is the lifelong journey they undertake. Atlantic bluefin tuna are born in just two places, the Gulf of Mexico and the Western Mediterranean. Those born in the nutrient-rich coastal waters off the Balearic Islands and the Alboran Sea grow up and cross thousands of kilometers across the Atlantic to feed. Then, after 4 to 6 years, they return to the very place they were born to spawn. Satellite tracking shows that up to 68% of tagged individuals come back to their original birthplace, defying currents, weather, and shifting conditions. They spawn in summer from May to July, when water temperature and salinity reach optimal levels. A mature female can release up to 10 million eggs in a single season, though fewer than 1% survive to become young tuna. To sustain the population, they rely on safe waters, undisturbed by fishing, free of pollution, and consistently deep. The coastal zones of Spain and the western shores of Sicily offer ideal conditions, with cool, oxygen-rich waters and stable currents. Commercially, Atlantic bluefin tuna commands sky-high value. A single fish can be auctioned for up to $3 million at premier seafood markets in Tokyo. Their prized belly meat, known as toro, has a melt-in-your-mouth texture and rich, buttery flavor, ranking among the most luxurious ingredients in sushi and sashimi cuisine. But toro isn't only a delicacy for humans, it's also a favorite target of orcas.
Hunting performance. leaving behind the lush river oases and the endless low-grass plains. Our journey enters its final chapter, into the buffer zone of the savannah. Here, the yellow baboon completely shatters the stereotype of a passive vegetarian species. In this ecosystem, they are resourceful opportunists, operating with a brain that possesses a large cortical ratio, a weapon that helps them transform collective intelligence into a tool for dominance and procurement. They do not merely consume insects or small birds. Scientists have recorded baboon troops organizing hunts for young impala. And even other primate species, such as the vervet monkey. The yellow baboon utilizes the spot and stalk hunting method. They spot the vulnerabilities in an opponent's defensive system. Afterward, they stalk the target with patience before concluding the encounter with canine teeth reaching 5 centimeters in length. This troop coordination also serves as the strongest shield against their ancestral rival. The leopard. Within a baboon troop, every individual has a specific job description. Strong young males typically travel on the periphery to act as sentries, while females and infants are protected in the center. Their communication repertoire includes over 30 types of vocalizations and dozens of distinct physical gestures. When moving through high-risk areas, the baboon troop will shift formation into a narrow vertical line to minimize exposure to adversaries, while the guards continuously signal to ensure that no member is left behind. Upon detecting a threat, they coordinate a mobbing behavior. This tactic strikes at the psychology of the solitary hunter. The leopard understands that an injury from a baboon's fangs could result in a loss of hunting ability and, ultimately, lead to a decline in its condition. When the dry season fully settles in, water becomes the most precious currency, and existence is measured drop by drop. These resident giants now face their sternest trial. How does one sustain such immense bodies as life-giving resources diminish day by day? Survival will hinge on endurance and resilience. We are about to enter the darkest chapter of the Serengeti, where the dry season will separate the enduring from those who fade into the red dust. For giants like African buffalo, the dry season becomes a race against depletion. As smaller waterholes vanish, they are forced into grueling journeys. The distance between grazing grounds and permanent water can stretch up to 20 kilometers. Every step is an energy debt. Fatigue turns these armored tanks into slower, more vulnerable targets. Meanwhile, giraffe and impala adopt a more refined strategy, browsing wood instead of grass. By now, grass is little more than empty cellulose, while acacia leaves still hold traces of life. Yet the price is far from small. Acacia trees defend themselves with 5-centimeter thorns and high concentrations of tannins. These residents have evolved digestive systems capable of tolerating both toxins and coarse fiber. Below the surface of the savanna's bustle, warthog choose concealment. They reduce nearly all daytime activity, spending long hours in deep burrows where humidity and temperature remain stable. For lion, the dry season is when royal authority is tested by hunger. With 80% of prey having migrated, prides must become meticulous energy accountants. Lion now are the most patient figures on the plain. They can sleep up to 22 hours each day. This is a strategy of calorie conservation. Any attempt to bring down an African buffalo or giraffe at this time becomes a wager where the rewards and losses stand at opposite extremes. Rather than pursuing prey across open land, lion establish ambush points at scarce water sources. They understand that sooner or later, thirst will guide prey directly into their reach. The watering hole becomes the central stage of all drama. It is where survival and finality stand face to face. At times, a fragile truce emerges from shared exhaustion. Lion and prey may stand only a few meters apart, both too overheated and drained to initiate conflict. Power is a debt often paid in blood. Yet for a mother, it begins in absolute silence. After 110 days of pregnancy, instinct guides her into solitude. She seeks a natural fortress among the rocky kopjes to safeguard the lives not yet born. Meanwhile, out on the open plain, her sisters are operating the true machinery of war. These lionesses are the architects of the empire's survival. With streamlined bodies and the absence of heavy manes, they are precision hunters. They do not simply hunt, they execute geometry in motion. One group advances as the vanguard, steering prey into position, while others wait in ambush at the terrain's most decisive location. 90% of the protein sustaining this kingdom comes from those collective efforts. Lionesses serve as hunters, tacticians, and primary providers, even for the indolent kings. Survival in the Serengeti leaves no room for selfishness. When mothers give birth around the same time, they form a cooperative alliance. A shared nursery ensures that even when one mother goes out to hunt, her cubs are guarded and nourished by the milk of aunts and sisters. This tolerance is the key to preserving the bloodline. For the greatest threat does not come from the jaws of spotted hyena or the claws of leopard, but from nomadic male lion. These intruders crave dominance and may eliminate an entire previous generation to establish a dynasty of their own. In those darkest moments, gentle mothers transform into relentless defenders, standing firm with their final reserves of strength to shield their young. The first small steps onto the red soil of the Serengeti mark the beginning of a formidable journey. These cubs do not yet realize they stand atop the summit of a food chain, layered with hidden trials. The Serengeti ground does not welcome the weak with a red carpet. It welcomes them with a final verdict hanging in the air. For this future king, every step out of the rocky den is one step closer to the grassland's unforgiving crucible. 80% of lion cubs will fall before they reach their first birthday. Nature has no concept of fairness. This is a ruthless cleansing where life is counted hour by hour and a mother's vigilance is the only shield. While the pride's warriors are busy with hunting expeditions, the home front becomes a fatal weak spot. Old enemies always know how to wait. Spotted hyenas are specialists at wiping out rivals before they ever have a chance, easing future competition. On top of that, lone hunters like leopards or packs of African wild dogs are always ready to launch a lightning raid if they spot a cub left alone. Even from above, large birds of prey or pythons hidden in the grass see a lion cub as an easy-to-reach protein package. In this kingdom, size is everything, and when you are small, the whole world is your enemy. But the most brutal threat carries their own blood. When a new coalition of male lions overthrows the old ruler, a primal takeover begins. The new leaders will establish their dominance by removing any trace of the previous reign. That way, the new males not only eliminate a rival bloodline, but also push the lionesses back into their breeding cycle in just a few days. This is a race of dominant genes. The mothers will not quietly accept it. They will fight back fiercely, sometimes choosing exile, carrying their cubs into hiding across enemy ground to protect the last flicker of hope for their lineage. Even those seen as prey have their own payback. African buffalo have long-term memory and a deep, simmering grudge. They will actively seek out and trample future kings the moment they get the chance. On top of that, in a lion pride, priority always goes to the strong. If they can survive this fragile stage, their lives will turn a new page. No longer helpless children needing constant cover, they will begin joining real-world lessons in survival skills. A new journey full of trials waits ahead, where playful games will soon turn into life or death chases. Young kings are about to step into a school of scars and cunning to truly take command of this kingdom. The epic saga of the savannah is not merely a series of pursuits or intense confrontations. It is the greatest energy management system on the planet. Here, every living being is a link in an endless network of calorie circulation. But the brilliant portrait of those survival algorithms is facing a variable unprecedented in evolutionary history: the harsh intervention of humanity. the greatest concern for the grasslands in 2026 is no longer drought, but fragmentation. More than 60% of ancient migratory corridors have been dismantled. When paths are blocked, wildebeest herds cannot reach green pastures at the correct moment, leading to a phenomenon known as biological mismatch. Young are born when the grasslands have already withered, creating a calorie crisis right from the cradle. This separation also pushes predators into narrow ecological islands, where inbreeding is silently weakening the genetic pool of monarchs, such as the lion or the cheetah. Beside the claws of rivals, predators must now face the risk of lead contamination from hunter ammunition. Poisoned baits used to protect livestock are also pushing vulture populations to the brink of disappearance. If they vanish, the calorie circulation cycle becomes obstructed, and the accumulation of remains triggers outbreaks of pandemics like anthrax, threatening the entire system in return. Furthermore, light and noise pollution from high-end luxury resorts are disrupting the map of the landscape of fear. Electric lights obscure the moonlight, stripping away the leopard's advantage of invisibility and interfering with the navigation abilities of the African rock python. The savannah at night, once a place of absolute silence, is now torn apart by engine noise, causing sensitive species like wild dogs to lose their ability to communicate through sound during nocturnal foraging. But amidst the shadows, the light of hope is emerging from the most resourceful conservation measures. By 2006, we no longer just protect the animal. We protect the interconnected network. Monitoring shy species such as the black-footed cat or the serval no longer requires expensive camera traps. With just a single water sample from communal watering holes, eDNA technology can analyze floating genetic codes to accurately determine the presence and health of the entire local population. The greatest lesson the savannah has taught us over millions of years is there are no absolute winners. A healthy ecosystem is a place where the predator never eliminates all the prey. And the prey always finds a window of opportunity to endure. The savannah is not a legacy for us to store in a museum. It is a living dialogue. Every time we protect a hectare of grassland or a rushing Mara River, we are also protecting the wisdom of evolution and the self-healing capacity of this planet. After this journey, have you discovered which predator possesses the most strategic and efficient foraging method? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do not forget to like and share the video, as well as subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you do not miss our next fascinating journeys.